Oh, una. Oh, una. Oh, una.
Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Una salute, the great people of Ambazonia. Good evening to you all, friends of Ambazonia, and good day to you all, friends of Ambazonia. The world has never been a peaceful place. The world has never been a peaceful place. You must understand the established rules. You must understand why there are so many conflicts in the world. It is not because the Ukrainians and the Russians just viciously hate each other. It is not because the people of Taiwan and mainland China can get along. It is not because the Palestinians and the Israelis, they just can't get along and want to eliminate each other. Even the war in Ambazonia is no different. Throughout human history, from the periods of the Romans, it's been a world of conquest. Throughout the period of British dominance, it's been a world of conquest. Certain rules have been established. Certain needs have been valued. Certain tendencies have been anchored within human psyche. There are specific driving forces that are pushing this agenda. There are specific geopolitical driving forces, economic driving forces, political driving forces, national security driving forces. A driving force to dominate, to be seen as superior, to be seen as powerful, there are specific things that drive states to even act in a way that is inconsistent with the priorities of that state, or with even the national security of that state, or with even the economic interest of that state, or with even the long-term consideration of the prosperity of that state. What do you think was the primary reason that drove all these states to be engaged in slavery? Even when they knew was a crime against humanity. Even when they knew they all were Christians. What caused these same Christians that were preaching Christian values to engage in such an act for almost 400 years? What caused them, after the end of slave trade, to reinvent a new game? The exploration of Africa. What is it? What is it that created colonialism? And then they have to create new rules to say they want to decolonize. And then set up post-colonialism institutions by the same people with new rules. And you're living through those institutions today. Those same rules that were set up are still guiding, governing, and determining how the world acts today. And for more than half a century, that's the education system you have received. That's the social liberal doctrine you have received. It's part of your programming. It's part of your thinking system. It's part of your filters. It's part of how you have been programmed, trained, indoctrinated to process the world. By whose values? Whose rules? For whose interest? For us to win as a people, you must understand what is going on beyond what you see, beyond what you read, beyond what they tell you. You must do your own research. You must consult the experts, the truth tellers, those that are out there speaking the truth, telling you the truth, giving you empirical evidence. You need to gather the data within the last 20 years, according to top international experts. The United States government has sponsored, engineered 87 coups d'etat across the globe. 87. There is a lot going on than what you think you know. Citizens across the globe are just mere victims of geopolitical muscle flexing. People across the globe are victims of geopolitical muscle flexing. And because we live in a social media era where information is flowing and spreading at a dizzying speed, so it makes you feel overwhelmed. It makes you feel like the world is falling apart. It makes you feel like the world is going crazy. It's not. The world is not going crazy, and the world is not falling apart. Post-World War II, there were two dominant powers in the globe: the Soviet Union and the United States. By 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. The United States became the supreme hegemony in the world. So they dictated, and their goal was to spread liberal democracy using all means humanly possible. And if you fail to abide by its dictates, you get booted out of power. You saw it, you've experienced it, you've witnessed it. That period of a singular superpower ended in 2017. Between 1991 and 2017, the United States was the primary superpower in the world. It controlled global politics, global policies, global economy. It dominated the military in all aspects of the world. The United States ran the world between 1991 and 2017. From 2017, the United States was and is no longer a singular superpower in the world. There are now three global powers. There are now three superpowers. We no longer live now in a world, we no longer live in a world of the unipolar moment. That period ended between 1991 and 2017. From 2017 to this present moment, there are three polars in the world. It's a multipolar world. What you're seeing happening is the United States still live in the old notion that there is only one power, because states that have dominated the world do not like peer competition. Why am I saying all of this? Like, how does this relate to Ambazonia? You need to understand the rules. That's why it relates to Ambazonia. For us to be free, for us to win, we must understand the geopolitical muscle flexing of the old world and the new power players that now represents a multipolar shift in the way the world functions. The war in Ukraine, it's a muscle flexing between the United States that has dominated the world over the last between 1991 and 2017, and a new power player called Russia There are three power players in the world. Number one, the United States is still the most powerful state in the world. China is the second in terms of economy, in terms of military competition, in terms of military strength, and Russia is the third. The war between the Israelis and the Palestinians, it's part of that geopolitical muscle flexion or flexing. It's these polars juxtapositioning in order to shift balance of power for economic dominance, military dominance, territorial dominance at the detriment of human lives. Fellow Ambazonians, I not come for you for talk for una like a political scientist. I come for you for talk for una tonight. Say we need to understand what did happen for the world, so that make we not over worry ourselves too much. The world never ever be a very peaceful place where all things just be so calm. The world now a fast moving place of big competition, of power playing. It always be like that from the times of the Romans. Okay? They conquer the world for who their interest, for the benefits. When I see Italy today, go there. Any man don't go for Italy, you still see the power of how this conquest, the power of the Romans, the way they go carry people them for all sides, bring them to build their own country. When I still see them, go for Italy today. The history they did for all man for see them. During the period of Napoleon, now the same thing. During the period of slavery, now the same thing. The British, they dominate world economic trade. Look at Britain today. All their money, it come out now for all these things, and when they take people themselves, sell them, for carry them, for build their country then. They do that trade for almost 300 to 400 years. After the British people, they are after the slave trade end. First of all, these people they call themselves they be Christians, because at first they did cross it, they did preach, they did send them out. May they go preach this Christianity, right? Now the same people they preach this Christianity, these Christian values. Now the same people they go out, they go carry out the slave trade. As I be explaining them for now, how they carry out the slave trade. They come as slave masters. They come like people where they can't sell this new religion, right? But the question what they ask them, and I will still be asked always, how a people they come out very far, they come with canoe them, and they not be plenty where then they come. Then they come for some land, when they are land, and you get chiefs, you get funds, you get kings, you get tribal leaders. And then you get people where they come out very far, they come for your land, they're not even plenty. Then they can't talk with you, the chief. They talk with you, the people where they get power for community. And then he said, yes, they feel buy your people then. And then you, the chief, the fund, the tribal leader, you create middlemen. You become part of the slave trading. Without your chief, without the middlemen, the people them, they not forget access to your people them, for force them, carry them, go sell them. So you get willing participants, beneficiaries of the trade. When now they facilitate the trade. Because now then they go for the what they call hinterlands, then they go right inside bush. Then they go buy people then. And then they beat them, and then they carry them, and then they come bring them for the people where they get for put them for inside canoe, and then they sell them, right? those same people will they orchestrate the slave trade. When they end the slave trade, what do they do? They start colonialism. They start the conquest for Africa. When that one finish, what do they do? They divide them like a piece of cake, like chop for all man. So go back, go tell me how peaceful the world be there that time. When all these conquests they be go on. When there is this mass movement of human activities and interaction, and the exploration of new countries, when they shift people them from one country to the next, and then they take raw materials, they move them to other places, they get these people, they make them work very hard, like machines. Ask yourself, now which kind of value system it be drive human beings them for that time for do the things and what they do and the way they do them that time. So what it don't change? Now the question I want to ask you, Ambazonia. What has changed? The only thing we don't change is just the form of application. Right? Today, you get the occupation. After slave trade, they come up with a conquest for the continent. Then after that, what happened? After the conquest of the continent, what happened? They come for colonialism. After colonialism, when the people they rise up to a certain extent, then they say one decolonized. Now who write those rules of colonialism? Who write the rules of slave trade? Who write the rules of colonialism? Who write the rules for decolonialism? Now who create the institutions so that they govern the world today? Are the same people then. So you get these people, they don't be used to for control and govern the world for so long. And then you want to take them away from them? The essence of my talk, I want to make you understand the role we middlemen that they play for slavery, for occupation, for colonialism, for annexation. There is no successful occupation without a willing participant of middlemen from the people where they be occupied. Make a repeat that. There is no successful occupation without the willing participation of recruited and paid middlemen amongst the people that are occupied. There is no colonialism without the middlemen, when are the governors, the administrators, the servants, the managers of colonialism. For occupation to exist, the occupier must come amongst those people then, when are the occupied people, a recruit amongst them, the chiefs, just like the slave master, he meet up the chiefs then. He make a deal with the chiefs. He give the chief them whiskey. He give them mimbo. He give them clothes. And then they sell their own people then. Okay? Today, the occupier for occupy you, he get for take people them within you, where he see them, like say their name, it be popular, where you feel trust them, they feel speak on the occupier behalf. And then they give the ultimate I call and say legitimacy. For Ambazonia for win, we must understand how the rules, how the game they be played, how the rules that they be shaped, and who did write those rules, who shaped those rules. And then look, as a determined people, for we for be free, you must understand, say the middlemen, the managers of this occupation, the administrators of this occupation are all part of the occupational governance systems of the occupier. They all be part of it. So if you want to fight, you think so you fight the occupier, but you leave the managers of the occupation, you leave the governors of the occupation, you leave the middlemen of the occupation. The middlemen will be those people then, the parliamentarians, the senators, the mayors, the DOs, the SDOs, the governors, right? You list all these elites with the occupation system, don't create them as networks for protect the interest of the occupier. You will not defeat the occupier where you leave these people them in place. You leave these people them in place, the occupation system is still in place. Because for end slave trade, the fastest, quickest way for any tribal people them for end the slave trade, now the chief will put them for slavery. The middlemen will they make a profit. Once you end the middlemen, the beneficiaries, you end them and you confront the chief, the Oyibo people them, their business, market will spoil. Because they know we'll get the person who can supply them, those people then. We must understand this game. I don't know how many times I need to explain that for now. But I need to explain that for now because repetition, it will lead to more understanding. Maybe when I be explaining that the first time, you know, be there for a place or listen. But today, if you be for a place or listen. These same elites, just like I be explaining for now, the old power versus new power. The old power, not the United States. Ain't no one make any other person come in for compete with you, for be powerful. So that's why when I see what did happen. The old power, now the colonial elites, the old power, now the colonial DOs, what they call them Anglophones. The colonial SDO, what they call them Anglophones. Those government delegates, what they call them Anglophones. Directors of companies, what they call them Anglophones. The generals, them, what they call them Anglophones. All right? The director for public corporations, where they don't appoint them as Anglophones. Those senators, those parliamentarians. And then now you get the councillors. Then they don't can create another one for now. Those people then, where they call and say regional assembly members. Now all part of the network than this, where they keep the Ambazonian people them under occupation. You must understand the rules and you must understand the game. Once you understand the game and you know the rules, and you know say the rules, they not favor you. Understand the game not favor you. Number two, the rules, they not favor you. There is a distinction between the rules and the laws. The rules, they be arbitrary. Now they say the setup. The laws, they forbid them for occupying you. You understand? International law forbid them for do these things for we. Then they create their own rules for doing. That rules now for 10 Ambazonia into Northwest and Southwest. That's La Republique rules. Or as some people they call them, Southern Cameroons. They take come, they turn them first. They change its name into West Cameroon. From Southern Cameroon to West Cameroon. That's La Republique rule. It's not a law. A rule. Then they move on from East Cameroon, from West Cameroon, from Southern Cameroon to West Cameroon. They move you from a people where they get a territory. And then they create a rule for make you a part of they call you say West Cameroon. Now you be part of Cameroon because there is an East Cameroon. So then there's a West. You understand the rules? Then they move you from West Cameroon, they divide you into two, into Northwest and Southwest. Now they don't finish you. They don't delink you from who you be. Because now they don't separate you from your core existence and identity. They don't redefine you and then create an artificial geography for make you fit inside that geography. Now the artificial rules and that. Break the rules. Break the rules. Break the rules. International law, it prevents La République from occupying you. So once you break the rules, you must challenge the senators, the middlemen of the slave trade, which now they call and say occupation. Now slavery process, they just give a new name, say occupation or annexation. All are the same. Wait till the one time. During the period of slavery, the purpose of slave trade, now for go help for develop the other people their place. Take you so that you provide the labor. You provide free labor. They take your resources and use them for themselves. Now, Cameroun, they for Ambazonia. Now for use the Ambazonian people them for exploit Ambazonian resources and then move those resources and move all the money into La République du Cameroun. Now the same slavery process in a new form. In a new form. Now exploitation. Territorial exploitation. Human exploitation. Cultural exploitation. Exploitation of your identity, of your dignity, of your well-being, of your happiness, of your health, of your environment. It's an environmental exploitation, social exploitation, financial exploitation, cultural exploitation, identity exploitation, legal exploitation, educational exploitation, institutional exploitation. You get it? You must understand. So you be caught up in between La République du Cameroun and all these recruited agents. Paul Biya, the Cameroon government, Diongute, all their top officials of the occupational system, they never ever can tell you now. Never. Why Cameroon? What did Cameroon do for Ambazonia? They only get one argument. Say Cameroon is one and indivisible. That is not an argument. It's just a statement. And it has no merit. It has no validity. You don't get any evidence. There's no fact to it. Paul Biya never can tell you now why it defied we for make we be part of La République. He never can tell you. Diongute never can tell you. So why they not make the argument? Why Ambazonia get for be part, for be under La République? Because there is no argument. They don't get anything for tell you. They don't get anything for sell them for you. They don't get anything for promise you. They don't get anything for give you. They don't get anything for offer you. Because now an exploitative scheme. That's why they did mass camp under the disguise. Cameroon is one and indivisible. So once we understand the game is a game of exploitation, that a game that. The game of slavery is a game of exploitation. The game of all these the quest for Africa, it been a game of exploitation. The game of occupation or colonialism, it been a game of exploitation. Once you understand the game, you don't need to be angry. You would just need to make up our minds. We make a decision. Okay, we already make up our minds. Yes, we did. And then we don't make the decision. Now we get for follow through. As every other people, they don't do it. Remember, there are so many nations across the globe where they don't go through. Waiting would you go through now for centuries. Then they decided to say enough is enough. We don't want to live like this anymore. We don't want to be subjects. We don't want to be tools. We don't want to be discarded beings. We don't want to be exploited beings. No. We don't want to be controlled. We don't want to be dominated. We don't want to be subjects. We don't make that decision. So, it be very simple for defeat the occupation system. Once you understand the rules, once you understand the game. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba don't tell you the game. Fongoji Dinka, the Ambazonia nationalist, the father of Ambazonia nationalism, the father of Ambazonian state, he don't tell you the game. All right? So who said the shake the commot? Why we need for shake? Why you need for stress? Why you need for worry? You know the game. The territory na your own. The land na your own. The occupier don't know the land as much as you know the land. For win. Take all these things and go, don't discuss them. What the leader don't tell them many times. And then now stay focused. You must be firm. No senator. You must be firm. Say it must come to an end. Ambazonians, if we make the decision as nationalists, say we don't want anything to do with Cameroon. The senators must be eradicated from Ambazonia. The colonial parliamentarians, the middlemen of the genocide. Remember that they orchestrate this genocide now in order for continuous the exploitation of Ambazonia. Because the middlemen, the one maintain their benefits. The parliamentarians, the one maintain their benefits. The senators, the one maintain their benefits. The governors, the one maintain their benefits. Because they pay them a lot of money. The DOs, the one maintain their benefits. The SDO, the one maintain their benefits. The government delegates, the one maintain their benefits. The procureur general, the one maintain their benefits. The magistrate, the francophonized magistrates from Ambazonia, the one maintain their benefits. You get it? They want to maintain their benefits of the exploitation. That's why they go for recruit agents. For the make noise for social media. That's why they go for create groups and movements. As international crisis group don't tell now, pro-regime groups. That's why they don't create militias on the ground. For they do a lot of dirty works for against our people then in favor of La République. You must understand the game. Once you understand the game, you don't need for fear, you don't need for worry. We get a complex strategy for dismantle all these games. And we don't succeed to a greater extent over the last 7 years. That's why they find it very difficult for they penetrate Ambazonia. and therefore re-establish their governance processes. Every scheme where they don't take them, every step where they don't take them, it need to succeed because we did knock them off. But remember, they don't get these benefits for so long. Just like for the world, these old countries, they don't get the benefit for being in control and dictate for so long. They find it very difficult when other one, they want to for show their head up. The freedom be inevitable. The sovereignty be inevitable. The rights of our people then. If Cameroon go pack out, not be now how they go pack out. Now a matter of when. That when, it be dependent by the Ambazonian people then. It not be dependent by the systems where Cameroon, where Cameroon they benefit that system. Okay? France need to talk. Emmanuel Macron need to talk. Mr. Sunak for England, the PM for UK, he need to talk. Remember, a country they benefit from the occupation. Something where they sell them for 100 billion. La Republic will give them for 2 billion. They give them 80% discount. So that then they will take the remaining 80 billion. They use them for the development of Great Britain. And then they take 2 billion again for La Republic. Then you, Ambazonia, where you get a territory, you get nothing. Same with France. Same with the United States. Same with Canada. Okay? Cameroon, their newest armor cars, where they buy them. They buy 10 of those armor cars from Canada. So Canada too, they make money from the war by selling arms. When the war comes to an end, not be La Republic, not be the United Nations go dictate them, now we go dictate them. Because now we get a territory. Now how hard we go on the parliament, on the managers of the occupation system, of the middlemen of the slavery system, the senators, the parliamentarians, the DOs, the SDOs, all the CPDM colonial elites, how hard Ambazonia go on them and tell the world, say, we don't want these people again for our territory. Now these people will be the middlemen. Without these people, there is no Cameroon occupation. It be left on us. Fighting La Republique with Cameroon military, it go only take we so far. Make a repeat that. Fighting La Republique with Cameroon military, it go only take we so far. The thing we go move the needle forward. The thing we go move it quicker and faster. Not the interest, we not the game of exploitation. Not the money where did they get them from the territory. Not the number one priority that we get for be for the war. Stop all exploitation. Make our talk today, make all one a year. La Republique they in the process for rebuild Sonara. The Cameroon government is in the process for secure the 400 billion CFA loan for the rebuilding of Sonara. They don't appoint a new manager. They don't buy new equipment. They're now in the process for signing that loan. Now your oil, now your land, now your territory, now your resources. They don't extract those resources for how many years? Decades. You don't get water for drink. You don't get electricity. You don't get hospital. You don't get schools. They want to rebuild the Sonara. Now a project, if Cameroon succeeds for build that project, Ambazonian will be consequences in Mr. Bia, a projection of the normalization process. would like to provide this education. You get an obligation for intensify economic sabotage. You get an obligation for stop the production and the processing plants for CDC. Anything when they are resource, your raw materials. La République the exploiter, it give La République money for survive the state and therefore for be able for stock. All construction projects for Ambazonia now a propaganda tool to Cameroon, to the international community, and to the beneficiaries of the occupation. For give them time. It be to the benefit of the Ambazonian liberation struggle, for quicken the freedom of our people then, and for end Cameroon presence of our territory, for all Ambazonian nationalists, when I get a responsibility for stop all construction propaganda for Cameroon's normalization of Ambazonia. Now a responsibility. Now propaganda construction projects, they are not aimed for development. They don't get the interest for development. If they get the interest for the development of the people, then they will get into a meaningful dialogue for resolve the conflict first. Then we choose we take our self-determination into our own hands and then determine and decide our own infrastructures. So all Ambazonian forces, they get a responsibility. Wherever there is a propaganda construction project for the normalization of propaganda, for the propaganda, no, I feel better. For the normalization propaganda, all Ambazonian forces across the territory, they must disrupt and dismantle all propaganda programs and projects aimed at maintaining Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia, aimed at preventing Cameroon for recommitting for negotiations through the international system. Number one, stop all economic exploitation activities. Number two, disrupt and dismantle all construction for normalization propaganda projects. Number three, all managers of the slavery system, the occupation system, all the middlemen, you know them. They must get out of Ambazonia. As long as they continue to live in Ambazonia, operate in Ambazonia, you have a tough time ahead. Because they are responsible for administering the propaganda projects. To go back and tell the occupied people to justify their existence, deceive them for another 100 years. Reclaim your dignity, Ambazonians. Don't allow anyone to make you a subjugated human being. To live in the land without hope. Their aim is to perpetuate your suffering. Make you live a miserable existence for their own pride. Make you poor, miserable, hopeless, weak, economically deprived, financially weak, socially weak, culturally weak, environmentally weak. So that you can submit to the occupier. Rise up. You have a chance. You've come very far. We don't come extremely far for end la Republic presence. If we choose to do it for this 2008 and 24, and if we make up our mind, say La Republic must live for this 2024, then Cameroon will get no breathing space for Ambazonia. How long you want to make this war last? Because Cameroon will live. And if we choose for make Cameroon live within the next 6 months or within the next 10 months, and if we live, I'm saying make Cameroon live now 5 years from now, it be up to us. How soon you want the freedom? How now you want the freedom? How now you want the freedom? How? When? Now, when now you want the freedom? Okay, ma ask, when now you want the freedom? How soon now you want the freedom? How hungry you be for the freedom? That choice na your own. Because that choice will determine the level of effort where you as a single person, a single Ambazonian, if it cause the greatest damage to the occupation. You don't need any personal permission as a soldier of this liberation for bring down anything like the Republic for Ambazonia. You don't need any personal permission. Take the vexation of the thousands where Cameroon don't kill them. Take the vexation of the pain where Cameroon don't put you through. And inflict the greatest destruction of Cameroonian presence for our land. One single Ambazonian, if it bring down the entire CDC. One single Ambazonian, if it bring down anything we give Cameroon money for Ambazonia. You feed one. You just need the willingness, the courage, but you need to be fed up, for live in pain, for live in fear. You need to be fed up. Do something. Carry out revenge attack against Cameroon. They kill the Supreme Commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces. Ambazonians, they wait when the revenge attack will take place. Now, when you go carry out the revenge attack, when you go do something so significant, and in Cameroon go hook up for monitor just one pack out. Now, when you go revenge Mami Api, with the body alive. When you go vex, with blood go pump for your skin, and you want to do something for those them where Cameroon kill them for Manfe, for those them where they kill them for Ngabo, for the 1,000 villages where they don't raise them down. Now, when you want to do something for all those starving in refugee camps, dying in refugee camps, why were people they go for refugee camps and you get an SDO they live inside Ambazonia? Why you go get 750,000 Ambazonians that they stay inside bush? And you get some person that they call you inside your territory, say a counselor. And they stay inside town. A DO they stay inside town. A mayor they stay inside town. What is wrong? Now what to be wrong with we? You get 750,000 of our mommy them, our brothers, our sister, our papa them, they stay inside bush, and you get the occupier, the manager, they stay inside town. It makes sense for you? It makes sense? Who's Ambazonia mommy the day? Or they are picking the day inside prison. Ambazonia mommy, they don't ever organize themselves, take to the streets, and stay on the streets and demand for the release of their picking. Because we fear Amoka, right? We fear the bees them, right? Because that's so Cameroon don't teach you. Cameroon don't program them for your head for living fear. The day we Ambazonia mammy them, they go come off outside, they move all their clothes in, stand for the streets of Bamenda, for the streets of Boya, for the street of Kuba, for the street of Mamfe. It will be a different story. The day with the ADF will take all the forces, maybe just 300 of them, and the day where they will go toxic today, one gendarme brigade must go down. The day where the ADF will take those other forces where they call them sister forces, bring them together. Say this march where they come. La République for the state of Bui, it no will ever exist. It will change. The liberation will be for a completely different place, right? You need to love the future more than you fear death. You need to love the future more than you fear criticisms. Whether you do nothing or you do something, it requires not the same amount of time. Ma talk am again. In fact, I be with a coaching client today, where they go through, and I don't want to call any person name, but I just give a generic example. They go through what they call as procrastination. Okay, you don't set a lot of goals and we get for achieve them this year. Would they now for the end towards the month of February don't come back for me for the second time for the month? I tell you, say, look, man, I'll tell you something. Whether you sleep all day or you use all day for achieve progress, you do use at the same time. Whether you do nothing for the whole month or you do great things for the whole month, you do use at the same time. One will leave you backwards, the other one will move you forward. The difference now how you use now. The difference now how you use time. Because would you think say time the wait for a person? Every minute you go, you do nothing or you do something, the 1 minute already go. You better use that time. You better use today. You better use tomorrow. You better use this time where God give you as life for do something. Because over the last 7 years, Ambazonia, they don't dabble. All right? Would he dabble? Would he crawl? Would use it at the same time. And if we use the same time, we do great things. If we ask life for much, or we ask life for little. We ask for little, we get a little. We ask for much, we get much. If you dream small, life will give you small. And you dream nothing, life will give you nothing. And if you dream big, and then life will show you a way for the big for go achieve those big things. And they jam a lot of information for this small podcast. For some of now, I need to listen them again and again and again. Then it will sink in. But once it sink in, when I will see a massive complete transformation for this liberation struggle. Because you don't need to wait for Dr. Ayaba. Make it can inspire you for go act. You know, wait for do. Good one. You know what to do. Good one. You get the roadmap, you get the strategy. Now is the time to act. Not leave for Dr. Yaba, not leave for any person. Act as a soldier of the liberation. Do one for the glory of Ambazonia. Do one for punish Cameroun. Understand the games, understand the rules, and break the fucking rules that are not in your favor. End the game that is not in your favor. Now the message is, now you get the key to the freedom. How soon you want them, now only you feel determine. Now only we, the Ambazonia people, feel determine how soon Cameroon get out of our land. A weak country, a foolish country, a stupid country, they not be that complicated. They be very easy for defeat them. We know what to do. My messages were all today. Tomorrow, we'll talk again. If you get any question, okay. Before I go, I want just, the leader already sent out the thank you message, but I think say, we'll not thank people enough. There is never enough gratitude, right? This weekend will pass. The Canada mission of the Ambazonia Governing Council, and I believe the fundraiser will take place on Saturday. We raise a total of $10,000 within 2 hours. I want to thank the chairman of Canada Mission when I lead this fundraiser. I want to thank all the Egg of Sea missions across the globe where they come together to do their best for this month. I want to thank the leader for a powerful message we deliver them to the Ambazonian people that will be there for that fundraiser. That message never be out. When I would listen for the message, would the leader deliver them on Saturday? It'd be very touching and very moving. The week we pass, we end yesterday for Sunday. The Ambazonia Governing Council will be able, for the first time for 1 week, for generate liberation revenues through the liberation tax of 5 million CFA in 1 week. Through the liberation tax, where systems and institutions who don't create them on the ground, through grassroots mobilization, will be fit for raise 5 million CFA in 1 week for liberation tax. Between October and December, the Ambazonia Governing Council will be raise 3 million every week. 3 million every week. Then as a leader talk on for all now, between January 1, so to encourage for last week, will be raised 2 million every week. This week we just passed, and the first time we the liberation tax, it come up to 5 million a week for 1 week. Then the sub fundraiser, it raised $10,000. The Ambazonia Governing Council, now the only movement we since it start this monthly fundraiser, it don't be very consistent for mobilize monthly resources for the liberation, for supply the forces, for give the forces which the forces they need. The only movement where it still get that public credibility, we still get that public trust, and it still get that public momentum for be able to bring Ambazonians together and get them to commit on a monthly basis. It be unprecedented for our history. And this fundraising not go up for almost 3 months. I mean almost 3 years, if not more. Or longer. Because I think since if I'm not being mistaken, since 2019. It's almost 5 years where they do this monthly fundraising. If you see those things, then understand the importance of leadership and the importance for building credible institutions for sustenance. We need for sustained deliberation. That's why the egg of sin need to take shortcuts. That's why we believe for do things in an honest, transparent, accountable manner. So that these forces, these brave hearts, these brave warriors, these committed Ambazonians, these leaders on the ground, they figure what they need for get the job done for all we. Imagine if every month we generate 5 million. Therefore, every week we generate 5 million. In a month, that's 20 million. How many sticks if you put them for down every month? How many seeds if you supply the forces every month? Now how many pops if you supply them? That is the power of the Ambazonia Governing Council. That is why the Republic, they don't hire cry-die people there. One talk, we want tomorrow, might just talking today. I'm not going to reinforce it tomorrow. Cameroon, they don't hire cry-die people there. For the cry for social media on behalf of La Republic. Now cry-die people there. All right? They don't hire them for the cry-die on behalf of La Republic. Now paid cry-die people there. For Ghana, if your family member die, you don't want cry. People, they know, professional cry-die people, they know for Ghana. So if your family member die, you don't want cry. You go pay plenty people them. They can't shit down for that die house. They go cry, knock skin for down, no. Now pay cry-die people them. They exist for Ghana. So for inside our liberation struggle, La Republic system is shame for cry. So they don't hire Ambazonians. When are paid cry-die people there. Alright? All waiting when they hear the trait or the talk. Now a paid cry-die master. When they hear all those ones they make noise. Now paid cry-die master. When I hear, now paid cry-die people there. So because the enemy know the pain, where the experience am. When I need for stay strong. Now when I the lead. Now when I the win. Your goal now for cry on behalf of La Republic. So that cry, if it affects you, you don't know say they cry now for La Republic. They cry now for La Republic. Because the goal for Ambazonia now for punish La Republic. Now for punish La Republic. The goal of the Ambazonian people then, now for punish La Republic for every angle. So La Republic get paid cry-die agents. When we hear they call ADF, they call the egg of C, they call Dr. Ayaba, because now the only thing that way it remain for the Ambazonian liberation struggle. All the 5 IGs, they don't die when it comes to the substance and the content of Ambazonian nationalism. All the 5 IG, they don't die when it comes to the effective work for this Ambazonian nationalism. All the 5 IGs, they don't die. So you get some of those people then, now they be confused. With all these people, they don't support them and all this system, they don't support them. Who said they will go now? What did they go do? So tomorrow, I will talk for all we, what all we need for do, for bring all these other people them, will they be believe for movement they don't collapse. And now they don't know waiting for go, waiting for do, and waiting for who's for go. We get a responsibility as the egg of sea. We get a responsibility as Ambazonians for being able for rally and bring people them together. I talked them 3 days ago and I will repeat them. No need for the stop the egg of sea. $10,000 we will raise them on Saturday. It not be enough for what is required on the ground. In fact, it's very shameful for the Ambazonia Governing Council for raise $10,000 for a fundraiser in the public. The Ambazonia Governing Council, with the kind leadership with the egg of sea get them, with the kind brand with the egg of sea get them, with the kind popularity of that leadership, with the kind outreach of that leadership, with the strength of this movement, with the potency of the egg of sea. The minimum money where the egg of sea is supposed to raise per month are 50,000. Minimum. Because the money will need them, it need for match the demands on the ground. When you get forces spread out across 9 states, we'll get a lot of work for doing. The 5 IGs, they don't collapse. You get these mass Ambazonians where they just wait for be engaged, for be drawn back, for be given a space, for be given a place to serve and to contribute. No, she don't wait for them. The egg of sea not need for she don't and wait for those people. Say, because I get the ADF, you must just come for me. Now the responsibility of egg of sea leaders, including me, for to do the outreach. But for do the outreach, we must be seen in the public. I will continue for singer. Egg of sea leaders need to be seen in the public. Egg of sea leaders, they need to be seen in the public, educating the public, having panel discussions, providing education, inspiration, public mobilization. Egg of sea leaders, they need to be seen in the public. AC and be empty. We get some of the brightest minds, the most articulative people. We get experts for all kind of domains. Ambazonians need for woke up and see leaders discussing law, humanitarian projects, diplomacy. Even try to explain some of these things with not be even with background for explain some of these complexities. People will be there for the dissect what is happening in La Republique. AC need multiple voices, not 1 or 2 voices. The egg of sea get the capacity for the raise $50,000 a month. While we appreciate the money we don't be raised so far, but that's like 10% of what we are capable of. The egg of sea is functioning at a 10% potential level. The leader need all the support we need. We deserve them. We need to move our action implementation potential level to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. Woo! The liberation will change. Some of this empty noise in the public, now because more constructive voices, they be missing. The reason why the devil fee exists Now, when a powerful force it be missing, that's why. That's why sometimes Ambazonia, they feel like the voices of the paid credit masters, they come from so many angles. From the education departments to all other departments. Imagine if you, this Saturday, you see the education department, they can't tell una about the whole colonialism process. Map them all for una. Do a marvelous presentation. What about the education department and the legal department? The education, they give the analytical aspect, and the legal department, they give the legal aspect. What about the finance department and defense? Because defense, they use 90% of all the money for egg of sea. What about communication department? For organized programs. We all love this organization so much. These talks, not because we not have this, not get these discussions internally. Ambazonians, they also need to know, say, we criticize ourselves constructively so that make we do more and make we do better, because we are not La République. All right? We are not La République. We must own up to the places that we will get lapses. And since only February it is, by March 1st, we'll start to do better. I hear some people they talk, say, Muna, not wash the clothes for outside. For Ambazonia, we wash our clothes for outside, even dry for outside. Right? No, we carry our clothes and she don't for our front door then. Wash them all, rinse them, dry them all, including a butter. A lie? Including picking their napkin then. Who did they ship for them? They wash them all, dry them for outside. Including mommy, they address them, papa, they address them, they dry them all for outside. So, we need to talk this thing. We love this organization. I love this organization as much as anyone else. So we must get this discussion for make the organization become more effective. You get one of the most charismatic leader. You get the most powerful defense force on the ground. You get some of the most biggest brains for Ambazonia, the day for Egg of Sea. You get some of the most charismatic and articulative, attractive people there for Egg of Sea. So Egg of Sea is supposed to be for a place for raise $50,000 a month. So when you say Egg of Sea raise $10,000, not be happy. Call the Egg of Sea, say no, we expect you to do more. How many thousands of Ambazonians are there for outside? How is it so difficult to reach them? It's not that difficult. I will tell you that. Ambazonians the one contribute. Ambazonians the one commit. Ambazonians the one be free. Ambazonians the one make this war, make Ambazonia win this war and kick La République du Cameroun as soon as possible from our territory. You get thousands of Ambazonian Mamiden where they don't retire. They want to go back home. They're the one contribute. You get thousands of Ambazonian Papa then where they don't retire. They want to go back home. They want to contribute. You must know how to reach them. You must know how to appeal to them. The goal of all we, now for reach out, now for communicate, now for sell the vision, the liberation, the promise, in a way that it's packaged for the way it be attractive and appealing and interesting and exciting. And then you bring in the credibility factor and the trust factor, if we protect people, their identity and their privacy, we can do it. What people deserve more than what we offer them and what we provide them for them. The organization can do so much more better. It requires a little bit more effort. 30 minutes a day, they don't ask you for the whole week. It's enough. If I know if you talk on come live, like I'm supposed to come live for 8 o'clock for Amber time. But no way, not be there. I mean this now for evening time. Where some people don't sleep in Ambazonia. It's 7:30 for my own time here. Now almost 2 o'clock for Ambazonia time. So some people don't sleep. But it be okay for me for doing now? Yes. People they woke up for morning time, they go listen now. You feed do them before you go work. You feed do them after you come back work. You feed do them before you sleep. 5 minutes a day. If not 5 minutes a day you get them, it's enough. And audio not even require 5 minutes a day. So not give me an excuse. If you make an audio for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, what about you just decided you want to specialize for international events? And every day you just make an audio for a summary of the key international events for the world, for just give Ambazonian people then information about what did happen across the globe. What about what did only happen for the International Court of Justice for the last 7 days? For the second phase of the case, we go on for the International Court of Justice, where you get all these nations of the world for where they can make presentation why Israel occupation of Palestine it be illegal. You get all the countries then for the world they make you submissions, presentations at the United Nations. Why AC and nothing take those cases, put them for AC and make Ambazonian, they begin to understand where they go on for the world. There is so much going on. I wish I'd be studying other things and where they give me the expertise for being able to capture all these things and begin to put them for now on a daily basis out here. I don't want to be jack of all trades. So I want to spend a small time where I get down, where I dedicate time for the liberation, for do the things that they matter, for support the leader, for support the forces, for support the organization. You feel coming for process audios. Love the organization and see what you feel do for the organization. Please. Our country this. Make would come together as Ambazonians and the 5 IGs they don't collapse. So the resistance, the barriers that with the egg of be the face, some of them don't be drastically reduced. There is so much more openness and space for reach out to mass number of Ambazonians and draw them into the center of alignment. I don't tell about the Republic and the international system. I don't also talk about what we do for improve our organization. For make it become an organization of cultural effectiveness. For create a culture of effectiveness. 5 minutes, if you create an impact. 10 minutes, if you do something. For days, they want to talk now because of I did for some place where I know I make the enemy even no place where they because I also get to take my own security into consideration. For those periods when I see that it go dark, I go only communicate via audio. A brother for La Republique called me See, my brother, not easy. But we must pay our liberation tax. And he pay. A brother for Germany call. Say, brother, so I want pay liberation tax. For mommy, papa, and brothers and sisters, say they do it for back home. He send him money through cryptocurrency. He send him money through Bitcoin. He said, brother, so I need a Bitcoin wallet. I say, what is the Bitcoin wallet? I just a joke. I call technical team for TTOF. I said, somebody need for pay through Bitcoin. They just send the Bitcoin wallet account. Bam! I just text them for it. It don't make 30 seconds. Bam! It don't send me confirmation. It just pay $100 for liberation tax for your family members on the territory through Bitcoin. Because we already built the infrastructure, right? Through the Ambacoin platform. I'll be talk something for tomorrow. It will be very important. Might not talk and today make we could just leave the talk for today for here. I hope say, as always, as every time we get a chance to communicate with una, our goal na for serve una with all our hearts. Our goal na for serve our people them with all our souls, with all the authenticity and honesty. We do them out of love, out of caring. We do them because of what we want offer them for our people them, what we want me to become, and what they deserve. And the purpose of this will be egg of sea, will be Ambazonia. Have a good night. You get a question, you get a comment, or when I get my phone number, by the way, if you never pay your liberation tax for 2017, I'm sorry, if you never pay a liberation tax for 2024, call me, text me, reach out, say, Mr. Spokesman, I want to pay my liberation tax so that the forces they get what it takes for end Cameroon that presence. All right? You don't pay or you never pay, contact me. All right. Una get a good night. Good night for everybody. For the one that for North America, una get a good evening. All right? Now evening time for some of you for this side for North America here. Now evening time. So una get yourself a very, very good night. People then for ground zero, some of them they sleep now, some of them no one sleep until when I listen for this message. All right. Now we don't listen for the message. Maybe if you go sleep now. All right. So when I get yourself a very good night. Okay? May God bless una, may God keep una safe. For like the Republic of Cameroon presidency, the day of right now, they must watch this message. And then they will feel for sleep again.